Good morning everybody and welcome back to another vlog. I am very excited for this week because I am actually flying off to Portugal on a workcation and I'm actually going to be taking this camera to vlog, but my incredible PA Stacy is actually going to take over my other camera and she is also going to vlog her week. So I created a video and very much like publicly documented the journey of getting a PA, hiring a PA, inducting a PA. It is honestly one of the best performing topics across all platforms of all time because I feel like we're all a little bit nosy, but I also feel like lots of people who have jobs like mine don't talk about having a PA, the importance of a PA and just what that looks like. And so that video just has done so well across platforms, and so I actually thought the best way to do a little follow-up video to that was to actually not do it myself but to pass the camera to Stacy. So she's been with me for 3 months now. She's very much embedded into the day-to-day running of my life, and so she's getting really confident in her role, and so I thought I would throw the camera at her. When I tell you that Stacy handles everything in my life, I mean she handles everything in my life. The reason I am seeing her this afternoon and throwing the camera at her is because she's actually looking after Blue for us while we're in Portugal. And so when I tell you, that girl, she just does so much for us, and obviously so much that she doesn't have to do. Obviously looking after our dog when we go on holiday is not in her job description. A lot of what she does is not in her job description. She's just an incredible person. And so yeah, we're taking Blue to see her this afternoon and she's gonna take you through her week. She's gonna tell you the story of how she got the bursary, how she applied for the bursary scheme, her journey from being the bursary recipient to my PA, what that's been like, lessons learned, and the transition from a career in accounting to being an accountant's PA. So I'm really excited. As you guys know, I'm an oversharer and pretty much everyone that I also employ is an oversharer. They very much get the assignment. And so I'm so excited to hand over to Stacy for a week in the life of my PA. Let's go.
Hi, I am Stacy and I am Rachel's personal assistant. It still blows my mind every single time that I go to say that. I am really excited to be filming for this vlog. It's a bit different actually than what it normally is because normally I work on my own remotely, but this week I'm actually joined by, just in time, the marketing manager. Blue, come here. Where are you? There he is. Blue! Apparently he's a little bit camera shy. You will hear quite a bit of noise in the background whilst my eldest gets ready to go for school, so we'll get a little bit quieter, so I will pop back later and we can have a chat. So I've just done a little bit of deep focus tippy tappy work, had an hour blocked out in my diary purely for inbox management and diary management, just to make sure everything's okay for the week. Because it's a Monday morning, I like to make sure that everything is clear for the week ahead, that there's nothing urgent that I need to action, nothing that came in over the weekend or after I'd finished on Friday that needed to be actioned sooner. I have been running through my categories in my inbox, so I have a travel to book one for tasks, one for quick ticks, and then also within Rachel's inbox she has set up some categories for me that include things like drafting responses and for me to pick up without her having to send it over. Sometimes things are clear as to what I need to do for her, but sometimes it's not because I'm not psychic. Sometimes I do need a little bit of instruction, like can you do this, this and this, but sometimes it is literally quite clear that I just need to pick it up and like respond to the thread on her behalf. So it's very easy, I find, to get caught up in your inbox and almost live there. I could literally spend all day just in my inbox responding to emails as they come in. So I do try to block out just an hour or so in the morning, and then that gives me time to continue if I need to, or I will spend some time doing like things that are in the task section, value added tasks, things like that. So I've now come to the end of the hour, but I realised that I have something in my inbox that is time sensitive that came in this morning. So I'm going to do that. I don't have an awful lot in my inbox at the moment, so it's just a case of me sort of being back and forth between inbox and tasks. So I'm going to run through, see what else needs doing, and then plan the rest of my morning. fine. Daddy brought this for me to eat. What a nice treat. Would you like a bite?
Yes.
Okay, you can have a bite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Open. Oh. Nice.
Yeah.
Are we going to go out now, you and Daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're going to take Blue for a walk? Yeah. You go for a walk? Yeah. Go on then, off you go. Have fun. Bye.
Bye.
That means I get to work in a little bit more peace and quiet, and I get to eat my cake myself. I wanted to share this with you because it feels like one of the biggest productivity secrets that like literally is a game changer for us and mine and Rachel's working relationship. So she actually has a unsubscribe folder in her inbox that instead of her just like deleting it or me just deleting it and getting rid of it, to save us time and in the long run and having to do that, she pops them all into that category. And then when I have time on days like today where there isn't so much in my inbox and I'm not trying to firefight, I can just go in and unsubscribe, and it has just saved so much time over the months of just deleting, and it just makes room for all the good stuff in the inbox. It is literally a game changer for us. So I have spent some time this morning clearing my inbox. I had a few things in there that were just quick ticks that just needed to be done that I just hadn't got around to doing, or they're like slightly long-winded but they're not quite classed as a task where you need that much time for them. So I now actually only have 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 4 things in my inbox, which is unheard of for me to only have 4 things, and none of them are like urgent on fire things, which is really good because one of them is a task, which means that it's like a 2-hour task, so I can do that over the next couple of days. And then the other thing that I have is just a little bit of like marketing stuff, which again isn't overly urgent and it's not like a huge thing, which means that I have time for like value added tasks. So we have on loop an assistant bible where all the playbooks, all the processes and everything that like you could ever possibly need, some things that you wouldn't even think of that you need a process for, but we have it, and it just saves so much time. And I'm all about saving time. I am definitely a productivity princess, so anything that's going to save me time, like templates or a checklist, like I love a tick list. So anything like that can save us time in the long run is just perfect for me. So the loop page has all like the sort of processes, and sometimes I feel like things just sort of get put there and it's like, right, I need you in there but you're not quite how I want you to look. So the value added tasks gives me time to build that out, make it just make sense and just be easy to go in and grab stuff when I need it. Like I have personal pages in there, so for this morning I had to make a personal phone call for Rachel and I had all of the information that I could possibly need for her on that one page, and it just saves like going back and forth. I mean, a lot of it now I pretty much know off by heart, but there are certain things like certain numbers and yeah, things like that I can't keep it all in my brain. So yeah, I will talk to you a little bit more about the sort of things that we have in there another time, but I have just about an hour left, so I'm going to completely clear my inbox, which just feels wild today apart from that task, and I'm just going to carry on doing some tippy tap work. I'm really enjoying just like popping in and coming and talk to you. It's so much fun. I haven't even introduced you to my office space yet. It's actually quite a fun story. It actually is in desperate need of being sorted out. It's really untidy. There's stuff that like shouldn't be in here, so we can do that together. You can come and help me sort out my office space so you can see where I get all of my work done. So I'm just going to tidy up my inbox and get some more work done, and I will see you when I break for lunch. I'm just about to go on my lunch break. I will then have an hour's worth of work to do this afternoon, and then that'll be me done for the day. I'm currently part-time, so I currently work up to 25 hours. There's scope for me to do more if needed or less if there isn't the work for me. Although that's very rare that there isn't enough work for me to do, there's always something that I can be doing. Yeah, so I'm going to go and have a nice little lunch break. I don't actually know what I've got today. We normally do a meal plan. I find that a lot of the things that I do at work have seeped into what I do at home, and then a lot of the things that I do at home sort of help and seep into what I do at work, and the two just work really well together. So I think I'm going to go do the meal plan now.
Yeah.
Oh, hi!
Hi.
We're just going to do the meal plan. will never not be crazy to me, some of the emails that I get in my inbox and some of the people that I have to speak to on behalf of Rachel. Things that I would never in a million years be dreaming that I would be setting up, that I would be planning for, that I would be doing the travel for. It is just wild to me, and I don't think there will ever be a day where an email pops up from somebody that I won't be like, it's just wild to me. And it's just the dopamine from this job at times is just, yeah, crazy. I really enjoy it. My favourite part about this job is seeing Rachel win and being able to help her to win, and it just makes this job so wholesome. There is just so much that she has done, and I find it so incredibly empowering. Being able to be part, even a small part of that is just incredible. So that is me now done for the day. Laptop is closed and I will be back to work tomorrow. Good morning. I'm just about to start the day. I have quite an easy day planned today. Not too full of stuff like yesterday where I was quite heavily sort of in my inbox just working through things. I actually in my diary have time blocks for certain things, so depending on what I'm planning on doing that week, sometimes it will get moved around. Otherwise I do tend to block out my time to do recurring tasks. So I've recently taken on some new things, so I will block out my diary for those so that they don't sort of get lost into the void and that I am actually doing the other tasks as well. So this morning I have an hour of inbox and diary management, a task for 2 hours which is blog writing. Then I also set myself a weekly reminder just to go through any junk emails of mine, of Rachel. I'll then have an hour's lunch break. Then I'm doing another task which is quite a big one, which is helping to create part of a course. So last night we went and did the school run. We took Blue for a walk, picked up some stuff because I was making pesto for dinner. Pop a little image here of it. It was really nice actually. So yeah, that was me last night. I can talk you a little bit through what our mornings are like. So at the moment Michael is currently waiting to start his new job, so he is at home a lot more than what he was before. So mornings are very much I get up and get myself ready, he gets up and gets the kids ready, he gets them off to school whilst I'm working. It will change soon when he starts his new job, and we will get into a new sort of routine. But yeah, I am going to just spend a little bit of time now just clearing my inbox from after I finished the day yesterday and doing any little quick tick jobs that I have before I do some deep focus task work. Hi, so I have just deviated away from my blog writing for a minute because I've just had a notification on my phone. So firstly I want to share that I have my phone in what I call PA mode, which only allows me to receive phone calls from the school, the childminder, Michael in an emergency, or from Rachel and James, and I only get notifications for things that are relevant to them. So I don't have a separate work phone, but I use mine just in PA mode. The only notifications that I have turned on Instagram anyway are from Rachel when she posts something, just in case it's relevant or just because I want to see anyway. And she has just announced the 2025 bursary scheme, which is whenever I hear the word bursary scheme anyway, it just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside, because I was actually the first bursary scheme recipient. When I applied for it, it was one of those things where I'm like, these sort of things don't happen to me, I'm not gonna get it, but if you don't shoot your shot you'll never know. I just wanted to share a little bit about how I actually got to this point and how I'm even working for Rachel and how it came about that I met her. So I actually found Rachel on Instagram when I got to the point in my studying journey that I was just desperate to find a way into the industry. So when I first started studying back in 2020, I started my business management degree, which I'm just about to finish. I will do my final module for that this year. I've kept applying for different jobs. I was reaching out to people. I was like applying. I was sending them emails. I was looking for volunteer work. I was doing everything that I could to try to find a way into the industry. For everyone that I was sending, if I even got a response, it was just a no, sorry, you don't have the experience. But no one would give me that practical experience in order to be able to get into the accounting industry. I originally chose accounting because I had done like a little sort of personality like career test online, and it said that I'd be perfect to be an accountant because I'm a little bit of an introvert. I like solving puzzles and I like helping people. I wanted something that I was going to be able to work from home or do remotely. It was just like the ideal for me. So I went ahead to do a business management degree with an accounting route so that I had options if I found that accounting wasn't really for me, or because I didn't have the experience, because I came from a care background working with adults with learning disabilities. I knew that I wouldn't have the experience, so I just wanted everything that I could to like give me the best shot of finding a job. So it got to the point where I knew that I needed my AAT because there was no way that anyone would take me with an unfinished degree and no experience. So I started to look into it, and because when I was 16 years old I took a level 3 course in health and social care, that meant that I was not entitled to any form of funding. I'd already been to college, I was over the age of 19, so there was just nothing for me. And yeah, no matter how I tried, like the only way that I could have got my AAT was to get a job and have them fund it for me. But then because I didn't have the experience, I was still being knocked back, and it was this vicious cycle of you don't have the experience, we're not going to employ you, go and get some experience. But then no one would give me that experience for them to employ me anyway, so I was just stuck. So it got to the point where I was like, okay, let me see what's on social media, let's see what's out there. And I just wanted to immerse myself into the world of accounting and business and finance, just to build and gain connections with people, to be able to like reach out and say, well, how did you do it? And even if I would have had to fund it for myself eventually, but it wasn't an option. So at this point I'd just had my daughter, so I had 2 children under the age of 3. So 2 under 3. My eldest is 5 and my daughter's now 2.5. I wasn't working at the time, my other half was working, he was still in care at that point. And yeah, I needed like just a way in. So when I came across Rachel's Instagram page, I immediately followed and I sent her a message and I just said, you are literally living my dream life. Like, this is where I want to be in X amount of years. Do you have any tips and suggestions? And she replied and told me about the bursary scheme, and it was a few days before it was due to close. I applied and waited, and yeah, I obviously didn't hear anything at first. And then Rachel had actually messaged me and said, have a phone call with me and Nick Craigs from First Intuition. We just want to like discuss your application. So I like, yes, of course, like made myself completely flexible and available. And I said, is there anything that I can do to prepare? Is there any questions? I had a like notebook with loads and loads of like notes written down, like around my financial circumstances, just in case I needed anything to be clarified. I made so many notes and like fully prepared myself for this meeting. And then Rachel said like, you've got it, we tricked you. We didn't want to just email you and be like, yeah, you've got it. We wanted to do this, you know, sort of virtually, like face to face. I cried and I cried. I cried whilst I was on the call. I cried when I came off the call. Michael was like, what happened? I could barely speak because I was just so happy, and it felt like a real turning point for me, you know, to be able to do that. I then had 12 months of mentoring from Rachel directly. Once a month we would have like either a phone call or a Teams meeting. Sometimes we'd do walks and talks. I was both being a little bit breathless, walking up steep hills, chatting away. I learned so much and it was invaluable. Like the connection that we built and the experience, and not just even work experience, knowledge that I gained from her. It was like the personal development side of things, like book recommendations, time management skills, prioritising skills. There was so much that I had learned from her directly that she had implemented into her own business, into StriveX, into accountancy, into her personal life, that I could use in my own life. And I almost started running my life, like my personal life, like it was a business. So in terms of things like time management, you know, organisation and being proactive with things, meal planning, meal prepping, like all things that would save me time so that I could study more effectively. It literally changed the game for me. It was like a really big turning point. So fast forward to around 5 or 6 months ago, Rachel reached out and asked me what I was doing work-wise. At this point I'd completed my level 2, I was well into my level 3, and I was still, of course, completing my university degree. And she reached out and said, like, what are you doing for work? I'm looking for a PA, let's talk about it, like this is what I need. I was in a really, really good position because Rachel had already taught me so much. We'd had 12 months of mentorship, how she manages her diary, how she manages her inbox. So I already had that advantage and we'd built that up. And I think in sort of your stereotypical working relationships as PA to founder, you don't have that. It's not something that you normally sort of have already integrated into a working relationship. So I, of course, said yes, and I'd never considered being a PA before. Now I love, like, the fact that I ran my life like it was a business just says it all. I learn the value of time and how we can manage our time in a way that gives us more freedom. So I'd already learned a lot just from the 12 months of mentorship. So I, of course, said yes. And here we are 5-6 months later and I'm working as Rachel's PA. So I really did learn so much from her. I'd never considered being a PA before and I would never go back. Like, it does something to my brain. I am very happy when I'm organised, tippy-tappy-in. It's super flexible. I am so fortunate that I get to work remotely. Me and Rachel meet 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week virtually and have approval meetings, which you'll have seen from her other videos. We use Loop to communicate. We have a next time we speak page on Loop that we leave like notes for each other. We have a section for things that I need to approve, things that Rachel needs to approve. Yeah, so it just gives us a really good sort of oversight. I think the opportunity that I had coming from the bursary scheme and now working for Rachel, just to be seen in that way and to be valued is something that I never thought I'd ever experience. And to have that from an employer and not to be seen as just like a number is just something that you don't normally get. It was really important for me to find something that I could fit around the children, so I didn't want to have to miss anything. I am that mum. I want to be there for all the appointments, all the parents' evenings, all the sports days, and finding somewhere that understood that value and actively encouraged it. I came from the industry where there was no flexible working options. You turned up to the hours that you needed to turn up and you did your work and then you went home. Sometimes you'd have to stay longer if someone didn't turn up because someone needed to be there all the time. And there were times where I was literally on my way to hospital about to have surgery and I was on the phone trying to cover my shift because someone had to be there. I never wanted to have to be in that position and I wanted to be able to work from anywhere. So I want to be, like, for example, I'm going to Wales soon for a week in the school holidays and I'm taking my laptop and it'll be flexible. We'll still get to have like a holiday and enjoy that time. I still get to work and it's a win-win for everybody. So yeah, so that is the story as to how and why I ended up in this position. You're gonna help Mummy do some jobs?
Yeah. Me?
You?
Yeah.
You're going to help?
Yeah.
I am just sorting out some travel for Rachel. Who's that?
It's James!
James, and who's that?
It's Rachel.
Yeah, your So far today I have cleared my inbox. I have written a couple of blog posts and sent them to Tamsin for her to approve. I have been working on the Loop pages, so the systems that we have within Loop. So they are playbooks that we follow, and a lot of them contain checklists. So every time we do something, it makes sure every time it's going to be a 10 out of 10. It limits us making mistakes. It means that we don't miss anything out. And I have notes for looking after Rachel's inbox when she's away and she's not in her inbox, but I didn't really have that much for James, so I took notes that me and Nivi had made together when we've done it in the past and said like, oh, this would be a good thing to remember for the future. And I took the process notes that I have for managing Rachel's inbox when she's away, popped them both into ChatGPT with a prompt and asked it to sort of integrate the two together so that it makes it relevant for James. And so I have done that, so we now have a really nice process for looking after James's inbox whilst he's on annual leave or if he is off sick or anything like that. The more efficient that it can be, the more efficient we can work. So yeah, I've just been running through that, and it's very rare that I actually get a chance to do this and to really like add value to the pages. I have also been running through the diary for the next couple of months, just going through and seeing like if there's anything that I need to book travel for, if there's anything that needs organising, if there's any like overlapping meetings or anything. Because Rachel and James car share, I have to make sure that when Rachel has the car for the day, that is in James's diary, so he doesn't book to go and see a client or any appointments or anything like that. So I've just really been able to do a lot of sort of deep focus, value added work this morning. So this afternoon I have some task time blocked out. So yeah, that is me for the rest of the day. So we can catch up in a little while. For Michael's birthday, I brought him some coffee stencils, and he's made one that says "I love you" on it. It's very cute. This is the perks of working from home. A nice midday coffee. So sticking quite heavily with today's theme of adding value, spent some time this morning mapping out an agenda for a monthly meeting that me and Rachel have. So when we first sort of started this role, we decided to meet 2-3 times a week following an initial period of daily meetings when I first started, just to make sure that we were aligned, for me to ask questions, for her to share what she needed me to do. We recently decided to have a monthly meeting, like most team members do, to look more at a review of the role overall. So I have just spent some time, again, using our good friend ChatGPT, marking out a monthly alignment and progress review with a set agenda. This gives me and Rachel the chance to talk about things that aren't purely like, it's not a daily approval meeting, it is a progress review. It's almost like a formalised vibe check. I thought I would take you inside. So we have the welcome, and then going into a review and reflection section, and that is for both of us. So for Rachel to ask me what went well, what didn't go well, how did it feel for you, because one of the most important things for Rachel and James as managers is it's not always just about like what it looks like, it's like how it feels to be an employee, and that is such a rare experience. Like I've never had that. So then we look at where did most of the time go, and did we hit our goals from the previous month. On our next time we speak page, I have added the previous month's session goals so that we've got them at the forefront of everything that we do. I mean, we check that page multiple times a day to see if anything's been added, and it just keeps those goals at the forefront of what we are doing to make sure that we are hitting them. My job is Rachel and James. Like that they are my job role, and it's my job to keep them alive alive and well, and making sure that they get to where they need to be on time with minimum stress levels and damage. And you know, I don't want to break their Whoop watches. I then added a section about like a progress check, just looking at like where we're at with things, so anything that she's not been able to find time to do, how can we help each other. So we then have a goal setting section where we will just plan any sort of goals that we have, what we want to achieve for the next month, things that Rachel would like me to do more of, things that she'd like me to do less of, and then just a wrap up section, just any other feedback. So yeah, that is the monthly review session, so that'll be really interesting to see how that goes next month. I'm really looking forward to having the meeting, seeing how having more of a structure helps us keep the flow of conversation and also stops us from getting diverted talking about the dog or the kids or random stuff. So little one, hi Blue, little one has gone down for her nap. Michael is just settling her now. So that means we can spend some time in the living room working. Sometimes it's nice to just have a change of pace. Blue's being very demanding, as you can see. It's been so nice having him here. Hi, are you telling me to stop talking and get back to work? Okay, so I'm going to get comfy on the sofa and do an hour's work before we go into the schoolroom. So this is the first time I'm picking up the camera today, and it is currently 9:05. It's been a day, it's been really hot today. I just feel so sticky and horrible. So I've been really busy today at work and like doing the school run, and then I did a little bit of studying, and it's just been one of those days where it's been like one thing all after another, so I haven't really picked up the camera today. But I did want to show you my office space, and I also really need to sort it out a little bit because it just looks like such a mess in here, and I really wanted to show you what it looks like, and I thought that we could tidy it together. I don't actually currently have spaces for all the stuff that doesn't belong in here to go, so it's all just going to go into a bag for now. Yeah, just to make space for like other things that I want in here. So let me show you. This is actually the office space. By office space I mean it's the cupboard under the stairs. So you can see here, that's where the stairs are. It's quite a big cupboard. Definitely feels very Harry Potter-esque. We have some shelving, so all of this is what needs to go because I want to use these. Yeah, this is what we're working with. I haven't decorated it yet, but I will eventually decorate it and get rid of all of this blue that goes around the edge from the previous tenants. And it just needs a little bit of a refresh. That looks cute. Okay, so I actually have a lot more space than what I realised in here. So I now have room to just put other stuff. So a couple of things that I have that I think that you'll find quite cool. This is a desk teapot we found in a local like recycling centre shop. So it has the screen, the little keyboard, files, telephone, cup. You can actually use it as a teapot. It is a usable teapot. Absolutely love that. Books wise, we have The Strategy Process, The Boy, the Mole, The Fox and the Horse, which I love these books. I also have The Big Panda and Tiny Dragon, which is really nice. This cost accounts book. I have a journal. I have Women Don't Owe You Pretty, Girls Just Want to Have Funs. This is amazing. What they don't teach you at Harvard Business School, self-care for students and mindful thoughts for students. So the top one is now empty. These are my gardening books. I also came across this little mini fan and I think that this is definitely going to come in handy over the next few days. In here I keep my keyboard and my mouse, so I'll just pop those away for the night. And we also have my certificate of higher education in business management, which is for completing my first year at uni. I'm just about to finish my second year at uni and going into my third, although because I study part-time it's actually like year 5 out of 6. So that is my office space. Oh, I didn't show you this. This was me when I was little at my first desk, and this is me now at my bigger desk. So tomorrow I'm definitely going to be leaning into my flexi time because my daughter has an appointment in the hospital, so I will be taking her to that and then coming back and working in the afternoon. Okay, I'm going to leave it there and I will come back tomorrow. Good morning, it is currently 20 to 8 and I'm just getting the garden ready for the day because it's going to be a really hot one, so I wanted to come out and water the plants. And yeah, I thought I'd just show you a little bit of the garden. These are my lovely sweet peas, some nice fuchsias and some carnations. They are literally just weeds. And the same there. This garden is definitely a work in progress. There's Michael trying to fix the hose for me. These are all strawberries down here, so we still have quite a lot to do for it, but I'm going to go and sort most of my plants out because they're very dramatic and they're looking all droopy because there's a little bit of sun on them, and then go and get into the office and start the day. So I thought, because I didn't really get a chance to come and talk to you very much yesterday because I was quite busy, it was one of those that you can hear my youngest shouting in the background. Can you keep it down a little? Thank you! So because I didn't really get to pick up my camera yesterday, and it was one of those days where I was doing like one thing after one thing after one thing where I didn't really have much time in between, I thought I'd run through what I actually got up to yesterday. I had quite a few bits of recruitment to do yesterday, so I also did some podcast outreach yesterday. So I have now taken over podcast and guest writing outreach where I pitch Rachel to various platforms to see if like they think she'd be a good fit, to see if like she thinks they're a good fit for her. I also managed to spend a decent amount of time on the course that I was helping to write and sent across a new redraft for Rachel to approve, which was a lot more in-depth. So that's really exciting. I can't wait to hear her thoughts on that. I had a few more bits land in my inbox yesterday, so I spent some time like just doing your standard sort of inbox management, diary management. I have full access to Rachel's inbox, so I can take out things as I need to. I don't always just take things directly from her inbox because there are certain things that I don't, like I'm not psychic, I don't know what she wants me to do with it. There's certain things that she pops in there. So we actually have some categories within Rachel's inbox that is Stacy to draft a response or Stacy to pick up, and I will go in and grab those things, or I can make sure that she's got adequate admin time blocked out within her diary. It might be that I need to move a couple of internal meetings to give her a solid hour to get through some of her workload, some of the urgent stuff. I think a lot of people perhaps think that being a PA is very much tippy-tappying in the inbox, almost like a secretary. I think that's what people think. I know when I think of a PA, I always think of someone standing there in the wings with a headset on and a clipboard, and you know they're going on stage and they're coming back and you're handing them their coffee and their water and you're dabbing them down with a towel and then you're sending them off to the next place. Like that's what I think of when I think of PA. And it's like, as a remote PA, it's not like that at all. I mean, me and Rachel do see each other, but very rarely for work purposes. There is a lot more to it, and I think what helps do this job well is making sure that you look at your founder and the person that you're working for as a human being, and you make sure that they are getting all of the extra stuff. It's very easy to just look at the diary and see a gap and be like, oh well, she has 30 minutes there, I can put like 2 15-minute meetings in there. but actually her inbox might be exploding, she's exhausted, her Whoop score is like screaming at her saying you need to take a break, and actually she needs well-being time. And if you don't treat your founder like they are a human, then yeah, like they're going to burn out. So we have a World of Rachel page within Loop which just talks about some of the things like Rachel's preferences, like what she likes, what's going to help me help her in a way that's going to keep her well-being high and make sure that she feels well. And we have something that says Rachel is a houseplant and it is your job as a greenhouse to protect her precious time and energy whilst creating the optimal conditions for her to survive, thrive and grow. I wrote that very early on just to remind me that it is my job to not only help support her and help her grow and push forward, but also to protect her so that she can maintain the level that she is at as well as growing. I am involved with like recruitment, managing Rachel's diary and inbox, but then I'm also involved with booking her doctor's appointments, her dental appointments. I'm not only Rachel and James's PA, but I am also the dog's PA. So, you know, the dog's insurance needs renewing, or, you know, he needs his worming tablets. I am making sure that they are there for James to pick up on the way back from the office. I've spoke a lot about working with Rachel because I think me and Rachel have like the largest point of contact. Like we interact more than what me and James do. I tend to do more project work for James, but again that's something else that I pick up on. I do some like larger tasks and project work for James as well as some personal stuff for him, but I mainly sort of work closer with Rachel. So today I am just going through my inbox, seeing if there's anything that needs doing urgently. So let's have a look and see what I've got in there this morning. So I currently have 3 lots of travel to book. I have the remainder of the course that I am helping to draft, so I will do, so there's 2 elements to it and I will be doing the second element today. I actually have four CVs to review, which is really exciting. I really enjoy doing the CVs. It's just interesting seeing people from all walks of life. I have an email from a brand who is going to be doing some work with Rachel in a few months time, and they've asked for some up-to-date photos, and I am going to book in an interview with one of their writers. So that is something that I will be reaching out to them to do this morning. And I also have a meeting that someone has asked to change the time on, so I need to have a look and see what I can move around if it's possible, or if I need to change the date on that one. Yep, so that is mostly it. I will now also go into Rachel's inbox, see if there's anything in there that came in after I finished yesterday, see if there's anything that I can take over for her, see if there's anything I need to take out and pop into my own inbox, or see if there's anything that I can draft on her behalf for her to approve. And then I will be finishing, ready to use my flexi time today. A bit like split hours, so I'll work for a couple of hours and then go to her hospital appointment and then come back and finish the day. In any usual like working circumstances, I'd have had to take the entire day off, or I would have had to use annual leave to be able to take her for a 30-minute appointment. But fortunately, because I work for Rachel, I get to lean into flexible working, and it just means that I don't miss important things like this. So I need to actually crack on with emptying my inbox now, and I will catch up with you in a bit. One of my favourite things about working from home is those little moments that I wouldn't get if I worked in an office doing a 9 till 5. Like just those little, even like just 5 minutes out of my day. If I was in a conventional office, I'd be spending those like 5 minutes like asking everybody what they're having for the dinner tonight. Yeah, I just wanted to share a really like special moment that I get, and it's the perk of working from home. Like, how lucky am I to be in the position where I can have a cuddle and a kiss from my daughter in the middle of the working day. Like, yeah, you cannot beat it, and it is completely invaluable. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to work now. Yeah, bye. Hi, so I didn't actually end up finishing filming yesterday because I had the migraine to end all migraines. I finished work and went to sleep with a cold flannel firmly attached to my head, but I'm feeling much better now, and I wanted to just jump back on here and have a bit of a further chat, have a little bit of a reflection, and just sort of round things up nicely. So something that I wanted to talk about was, I've already mentioned the biggest misconception about having a PA in my opinion, and that is that it's not just admin, it's not just someone jumping in your inbox and replying to some emails, and I feel like the role collectively just runs so much deeper. There's so many different parts that are integrated within it than just, I mean, the inbox management and the diary management is great, and you know, sorting out travel and all of that, but actually looking at a founder's well-being as well as part of that, and looking at things in a holistic way as opposed to just clearing your inbox and closing your laptop for the end of the day. Hello.
Hello.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm going.
Big boo. So, which leads me on to the biggest tip that I would give, and I think that is, don't just hire somebody who can do the job. It's not just about skill set, it's not just, you know, who can clear your inbox the fastest and who can write the most professional sounding email. Having someone who understands you as a person and understands how your brain works and like your likes and your dislikes, and to be able to treat you with almost like a person-centered approach, as opposed to just treating you like you're this person and I'm going to get you to do this, this, this and this, and there's going to be no feelings, no emotions into it. But instead, you know, looking at, you know, your founder's mental health, and actually having 3 days of back-to-back meetings isn't actually going to be that good for them when their inbox is building up, and they're just like, you know, preventing burnout and almost being one step ahead and getting to know your PA on a personal level where they can stop you from crashing before you can, because it's very easy to see it from an outside perspective, but actually when you're in it and you're the founder and you're, you know, doing these things and you're just looking at your diary and you're here, there and everywhere, it's very hard to see the crash before it happens. But I think, you know, PAs are very lucky that they have that outside view. So the tip that I would give to a founder is ensuring that the person that you hire understands you, like, in every single way possible, and that you trust each other, so that you as a founder trust your PA to be able to do things without you needing to like manage them all the time, and that you can trust that you can go off for 2 weeks and they'll be able to hold the fort on your behalf and only escalate things that need escalating, and you know, they keep things ticking over. So yeah, being able to build that trust. Me and Rachel are very fortunate that we knew each other before I got this role, and we had 12 months of mentorship where we built that relationship over time. You know, her role was to allow me to learn from her, and I asked, like, every single time that we met, I literally had a notebook full of questions that I would ask her every time, and she'd be like, "You've got some questions for me, haven't you?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I have." But it now helps because there's a lot of things that perhaps I wouldn't know or I'd perhaps need to be trained on that I already know, because it's all stuff that I'd asked in advance. So something else I think that's really important to establish when you start out is how it's going to look for you and your PA. So are you going to be like part of the company? Are you going to have someone that's like freelance? And just setting those expectations, like, you know, when are you going to get paid? How much are you going to get paid? It's all important information that you have to make sure that you're both aligned on before you go forward. So me, for example, I am freelance, which works really, really well for me at the moment. Things might change in the future, things might stay the same, but having the flexibility and ensuring through like monthly meetings and check-ins and having like decent amounts of check-in points regularly allows you to make sure that you're both still aligned moving forward. So, you know, how me and Rachel do have a monthly meeting now where we spend an hour together and we ensure that we are completely aligned. I feel incredibly lucky that I get to work alongside Rachel, and having this opportunity has changed me and my family's life. I thoroughly enjoy what I do, and I really enjoyed filming all this for you. Thank you for watching.
Hello, it's your favourite egg. I have actually just sat at my kitchen island and watched this vlog, and when I tell you, my eyes are welling up on, I think really just the journey that me and Stacy have been on together. I feel like, I don't know, I was saying this to someone the other day, that I feel like I'm at the point with my business and my life now where I just want to use my business to do more good. And if you've been here for a while, you'll know that that's always been the goal, and that's always been something that I have been working very, very hard to do. But I'm now at the point where I just want to use my business finances to do more good with just people that I love, whether that is just spontaneously. So when Stacy was looking after our dog this week in Portugal, she'd randomly mentioned to me on a call that they were saving up some money to buy a dishwasher, and so we just sent them a voucher and said, buy a dishwasher. And I know that might sound completely random and very specific, but I feel like we're just at the point where, and I vlog all of this stuff, like when Tamsin bought her first home, like being able to treat her really well, and like even employing Stacy, when I put the job advert out, there were definitely very experienced PAs that I could have employed, and actually I just want to use my business to improve the lives of the people I love, the people that I surround myself with, and just watching this, and Stacy always says to me that she loves watching my vlogs because it helps her understand the impact of her role. And actually, this was like therapy for me, like watching her go through a week, especially when we were working remotely as well. Like it wasn't a week that I feel like I had context of. And so watching her go through a week in her life through my life was really, really interesting. And when she said that she's the dog's PA, James's PA, and my PA, I've never heard a truer sentence. I wanted to hop back on to close off the vlog to just say thank you guys so much. I've been trying to throw the camera at team members a bit more recently to see if you guys enjoy that. I definitely, if I was watching me and I was a business owner who wanted to scale a team, if I was someone who wants to be an accountant or has an accounting firm, I would want to see like more diversity of thought and diversity of like roles, qualifications, and all of these things through the channel. So please let me know in the comments if you want more of this face or if you want more guest faces. I'd love to know. And if you've got any questions, we literally use the comment section of my YouTube channel to drive forward everything else that comes afterwards. So please, please, please fill the comment section. If you enjoyed this vlog, I'm going to pop up another vlog here that I think you will absolutely love. And if you like this vibe and style of video, here's an entire playlist. So if you are binge watching some YouTube, you're having a productivity princess day, you just want to put something on in the background, here's a whole playlist of videos that are exactly the same. Enjoy.